What do you mean I cheated? I was just being a little silly. Get off me.
Well, since you all are here, come everyone, gather around. It's time for a story. Now you all, this isn't a story many like to tell, but a story everyone knows. This story reaches from the forests of the eternal Weird Champ to the sunny oceans of the Pepe Jammers. A story of a battle that is still affecting us all to this day. Whatever side you claim, we all are aware of how devastating this battle has been, taking out countless innocent lives in the crossfire. This is brewing to become the largest emote battle in Twitch of all time. This is the story of the battle of LULW versus KeckW. A long time ago, around September 2016, the emote LULW was added to Better TTV, forever changing the meta on Twitch, allowing us to loser POV spam to our heart's content, and forever engraving LULW as the go-to laughing emote on Twitch. There wasn't much conflict, and all seemed good in the land of Twitch, and thus, the era of the good old times began. The reason for the era of the good old times was a combination of the dynamic duo ruling Twitch, Twitch being for the most part not as mainstream as it is today. The only Hassan we knew was the one white knighting Eager, and the little game called Overwatch only being 5 months old at the time. Life was great in the land, until one day it wasn't. Something shifted in the air around the year 2018. Something dark approached the land of Twitch. Something evil. Peace was violated, and the land was infiltrated by the vicious primers. The primers barreled through all the land, leaving destruction wherever they went, with no explanation, except the man with the blue hair sent us. Thus, ending the era of the good old times, what was left was ruins, poverty, and sadness. The primer's fearless leader said no and left the land of Twitch just as his reign was plateauing, leaving millions of primers with the choice of following him or staying in the land. To no one's surprise, the majority of the primers chose to stay in the land because truly anything, and by anything, I mean he could have moved the hitbox and it would have been a better idea. But that's besides the fact. With so many primers set free to find new villages, some strayed far from the path and began experimenting and learning the ways of emote farming. Many, after learning the art, began to blend in and function like respectable citizens in the land of Twitch. Now this was the case for a good portion of the primers. However, a few began to research and study how to create emotes for themselves, and while in their underground laboratory, a freak accident occurred when a novice emote creator spilt too many tears of an infant joy into their concoction, causing an explosion seen from all around the land and causing widespread panic. After the dust settled, the emote creators quickly realized they had made a grave mistake. They didn't create the emote they were planning to, but instead, they created something no one in the land of Twitch would dare to do. An emote to rival the great LULW. Instead of hiding the mess they made, the creators began to go to smaller villages and attempted to persuade the uneducated villagers that this creation would overthrow LULW as the true laughing emote of all the land of Twitch. The villagers asked the name of this new emote, and without hesitation, the name KeckW was said, and this marked the first use of the emote outside the laboratory. With the emote creator's strategy of going to small villages and planting the emote for them to use working extremely well, the emote began to build quite a large following that soon began a somewhat unstoppable force, in the sense that any LULW friendly village that was raided by the KeckWers was almost instantly converted. Even large-scale towns began feeling the impact of the emote, and some even fell and converted because of the sheer mass of the KeckWers involved in the raids. With so many lives being taken and unwilling conversions being held, the kingdom of LULW had caught wind and initiated a strike on one of the larger bases of the KeckWers. With the counter raid commencing, many believed this to be the saving grace, and the terror of the KeckW would come to a grinding halt. But that is not what happened. The raid commenced, and within minutes the LULWers realized that this would not be an easy fight. Hours went by, and there wasn't but a dent in the army of the KeckWers. They seemed to have an infinite amount of soldiers to throw at anything the kingdom of LULW had. With their resources and soldiers being thinned by every hour, the kingdom had to retreat with their heads down. The first battle between LULW and KeckW highlighted the manpower and relentlessness of the army of the KeckWers. And with the number of followers of the emote rising by the thousands every day, there seemed to be a stalemate. Although the army of KeckW had no problem raiding small towns and lowly villages, they knew the second they stepped in the kingdom of LULW, it was over. And the LULWers knew that as well, so the construction of powerful defenses began, and the large-scale stalemate began as well, with the KeckWers' plan of surrounding the kingdom, attempting to starve the kingdom from the inside out falling through, as they were not aware of the kingdom's incredible skill to emote farm. Even at a time like this, they backed off and regrouped to their own bases. With no sight to the end of this battle, the land of Twitch has become a war-stricken and violent place where only the strong survive. And the thought of Twitch ever returning back to the good old days has slowly become a distant memory for all the townsfolk. But anyways, everybody, break's over. We gotta keep moving because the kingdom isn't that far, and we should try to get there before dark so we don't have to stay another night in this forest. Because honestly, it's kinda weird.